Hello. I don't know how to start this off. I'm a little late. Let me fix these audio settings. That's why. I had my sound turned up, not the game sound. I got a lot to talk about. You guys got a lot to listen to. I hate this pop filter. I wish I had the, the little, like, fuzzy thing that goes on the end of that. But I don't. I guess I could try and find and buy another one, but, I have this and it doesn't cost me anything, so. That's why I keep moving it. This thing's like floppy. There we go. That's better. Stupid. Unprofessional. Alright, so, it's been a while. Grab this. The keyboard thing. I have a detached palm rest on the keyboard so I can move it. It has been a little bit since we've been in video. What, a week or two? Week and a half? I don't remember. 10 days since the last video. That's what it is. So, I have a list of stuff I gotta talk about. I gotta go over, and we're gonna do a little bit of things in video because I have tons of processing I gotta do. Trade crates. Production has halted. Got a lot of potato crates just for experience. But I'm out of resources. I don't have any more blackstone powder there. I have plenty of jade, but we don't have any knock ingots. We don't have any ingots really. Several platinum. No timber. Falling down on the job. I've been doing nothing but horse training since the last video. That guy is 29, going on 30. That's good. I can swap him out. However, I've done a lot. I guess I should have recorded it and posted it, but I didn't feel like it, so I didn't do it. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. But Stonetail, I turned all of my tier 8 coursers into tier 9s. Didn't record it at all, so it was like 4 or 5 of them. I Imperialed all of them, except for the 2 Pegasus. I turned them into tier 10. It went on attempt. I forget what attempt it was now. I'm pretty sure it was like 13 or something. I have 3 left. Right? Yeah, 3. And I had made 6 and it put me at 10. I made 5 more. Yeah, it was on like attempt 12 or 13. So it dumped me there. Or maybe it was attempt 18. I don't freaking remember. Either way, it was in the teens. And I have a tier 10 Pegasus sitting in the stable right now. Why does that matter? Well, because I trained it up to 30. I reset it. I trained it back up to 28. And it was really not better than the one I currently have. Because it didn't learn all the skills. And the first time it was missing like 1 or 2 skills. I just do they all remind me of like brownies or cookies or lava cookies, so that's kind of what I name them. This is just a plain old horse. Breeding market. Cool, we got a couple more. We're gonna check this guy in. Those all need to continue leveling, so we'll just leave them as they are. He has another thing that can be bred out of him. So does he. We don't really have any to do. The dog is throwing a fit right now. You guys can't hear. I have my mic settings set to where you can't hear. Okay. I gotta go through these one at a time. That guy's still got 2. He's got 1. He's currently breeding. There's that mythical that I'll look at the stats on that and show you in a second. This was a tier 6, has no breeds. Dumped to Imperial. This one has no breeds. Dumped to Imperial. And those are all still harnessed. And those are new, and that one's breeding, so that should be it. Nyla, what are you crying for? What? I think the cat's messing with her. She's sitting on the outside the gate. So I had the office gated off with like a baby gate so that she can't see it, or she can't get out. She can see out there. All right. So stat details. It turned out to be all B's. It was better stats the first time, but it didn't learn all the skills. It's missing like 3 or 4 skills, and it's level 28. So there's no way. And I don't have mount reset coins. If I compare my other one, I named them both winner because I want whichever one. It's B, and it has a little bit worse turn excel, but it has all the skills. So this one is going to get Imperialed. And I don't care. When I get mount reset coins, I will just try to make my current one, remake it. The big deal is learning all the skills. The speed, I really don't care. Like, I'm not min-maxing the horse speeds. Right. But I figured I would put all my stuff on and show off this. Basically, the higher level you get more. Mastery doesn't affect Imperial, I don't think. It's based off of horse levels and stuff. But I'm at 1860 mastery. We're going to turn this in. It should be about 18 bill, give or take. Yeah, 18 billion, not bad. And let's hope that we get a Phalite out of this, because that's the other thing that, out of all those tier 9s, I got 2 Phalites, and I did hit the Lumen Trace on the steed, and I think I showed that last time. What are you digging for now, girl? What you got? You got your little toy? She's big. She's about 50 pounds now. She's too big to put on camera. Alright, let's get this over with. Imperial. Give me the Phalite. No Phalite. 18 billion, though. So that's the second tier 10 that I have Imperial. And I've done... What was it? I think like 6 tier 9s, and I only ended up with 2 Phalites. So yeah, it's a 20%, but... doesn't make it any less painful, man. We're never going to get that Lumen. That Lumaloft. So there's 20 billion there. And I've been holding off showing you all this. We're going to set up... we still got that mastery on. We're going to set up... and I'm going to process while I talk about some stuff. So... there's that. What am I missing? Processing stone. That's what I'm missing. Cool. We should be at very high processing. 2115. Good enough. We're going to dump everything that needs to go in there. And then we're going to dump all of this to the marketplace and show you exactly what I've been saving for. We're just under... we're just under 100 billion. The cat turned off my number pad. 19 700 123 123 89 billion. We're getting there. 89 billion. Right, I was supposed to dump those in there. So that's a big chunk of change, right? And I still have 100 billion in worth in my storages. Let me transfer this stuff and set up, and I've got a bunch of trade crates still that I need to sell off. But the meal hasn't completed. I did hit a meal at one of the big meals. I'll show it to you here in a second. But that's what my CL production is looking like. And now let me pull all the storages. Can I get enough of those? No, I can't. Still can't get enough. Yeah, that'll work. I'll move current. And now I should be able to do 15 at a time. Where's that? That's still going to dump it there. I need to go to Heidel. So I move everything to Heidel. That's all. Production 15,000. Heidel and Heidel. Good. Now we can grab all this stuff pretty quickly. There. Moodle's got a little bit of things that I need to grab out. All these sacks and stuff. Alright. Mountain of Eternal Winter should have some wood. So the idea is to do as much as possible with as little effort as possible currently. And 20. Should get it. That Feathery Steps 5 on the ferry is very useful. So, while I'm kind of mindlessly organizing stuff, the first thing on my list I want to talk about, I try to, is one, video structure, and then that kind of leads into something else. So I tried to structure my videos where there's at least something interesting in each one, even though I don't have a lot to show. So like, yeah, I'm doing something stupid. I Imperial the tier 10 horse. Most people have, well, a lot of people struggle to even get one tier 10, and I've Imperial 2 already. Plus I still have the 3, you know. So, you know, I try to show a little bit of something interesting, even if it pertains to kind of the same thing every other video. Like the last few videos, I've been focusing heavily on horse training because I've been trying to get my horse training level up, and I have. Not as high as I would like, but higher than it was. Needless to say, I try to make it a little interesting. It may not be, but I do my best to make it interesting, right? So, that being said, I skipped video on Friday, and I skipped video yesterday. Usually every year, well, let me back up. The whole, like, I'd started this channel just to share things, right? And I took my dad's character name because he's no longer around, you know. He passed in 2015. I've been pretty upfront about that, and so I want to, you know, he asked me to kind of carry on. I don't know what you'd call it, his legacy, whatever. He thought a lot of what he was trying to do, and his characters, and anything that he got into, you know. So I made the channel name his character name when we played MMOs together, you know, years ago. And so I kind of took the character name, and I've been using it as my character name just to kind of carry it on, and because it's the channel name, so people recognize it, you know, that sort of thing. But it's not me. It's just kind of a respect thing. But every year on his birthday, February 10th, I would play World of Tanks. That's kind of been the whole tradition that I started when I started the channel. It was the first video that I put on the channel ever. And basically, yeah, we remember you, and, you know, he's never going to see it, obviously. But I didn't this year because I'm done. I'm just done. If you can't tell just by me being on camera, I'm tired. I'm really tired. There's there's some things that you should carry on, and there's some things that you should let go, right? Well, this is one of those things that's going to be let go. And there isn't really any reason for it other than I'm just tired and I don't want to play World of Tanks. And I didn't want to record yesterday. I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Throne and Liberty with the wife. And we joined Black Division, which I talked about in the last video. They're a pretty big guild for the server that we're on. We're not the huge, like the biggest by any means, or the best, but we're part of it. We've been doing guild stuff. We've been doing sieges, and it's been fun. The game seems light, and it's definitely a lot more fun when you're playing in a group with a big guild. But it's just kind of been making me think a lot. Content has been drying up on Black Desert, at least for me, because I'm getting into aspects of the game that are very hard to make interesting. There's no other way for me to really level horse training unless I go and I catch horses or I ride horses. And neither one of them has a riveting gameplay. So I've been doing a lot of AFK breeding, a lot of AFK training. Breed them, catch the ones to fill my wagon back up, and then right back to horse training. Part of that is I could have powered through during the 100% event and pushed this even higher than Master 17, maybe 20, maybe all the way up if I had sat here and done it. But I want the tier 8 coursers because I do want the Lumiloft lamp, and I'm so close. I'm halfway on the Phalites, and I got the Lumen Trace, which is the hard one. So I need more tier 9s, so I need more tier 8s, and I'll push as I get them, but I'm not going to start buying tier 9s off the market and imperialing them. I would lose about 40% of the silver per one, because you buy them if you buy the cheap ones, they're about 10 billion, and I get about 5 or 6 back. So you're losing half your silver. And if you're high training level or whatever, you're getting like 40% of your silver taken. You're losing it. For the Lumiloft, it doesn't make sense. It's just a novelty item. With the horse gear I have, there's no point in pushing for it that hard. That being said, you can get them from the Phalites from tier 6 to tier 8 horses. So I'm just breeding a heck of a lot of them and leveling them up and imperialing them all in the hopes that I hit the less than 1% chance. It's not looking good considering that I'm missing 20% on both tier 10s that I turned in and several of the tier 9s that I turned in. But there's always a chance, and given long enough, you'll eventually hit it. So I'm just going to do that to make it up. And if I get natural tier 8 coursers, then I'll turn them into tier 9s and imperial them. What are you crying for? Huh? What? Are you trying to get on camera? Is that it? You want your little cute face in here? Come here. I don't think I can lift you up this high. You're too big. Come. Come here. Maybe we'll get you up there. Come here. You're just too long. You're not even that heavy. You're just a big girl. Look at your big 50-pound girl. Look at that face. Look at it. Look at that face. You little cutie. Alright. Enough. That's a good sweetie. She's wiggly. What? Yeah, Daddy, so pick you up. I haven't lost that much strength, which is another thing I want to talk about here in a minute. But the riveting gameplay of horse training just hasn't been there. You know, I've already made videos showing off how I do what I'm doing, and that should be enough for that. I would like my gameplay to be a little different, and the only one that's in control of that is me. which is where this comes from. Being upfront, transparent. So there's a guy on YouTube. He's a major RuneScape creator. His name is Settled. I enjoy his videos, and I like the way that he does his videos. He'll play, do his mission that he's working on or his goal, and record like everything, and then edit it down into episodes. So you get highlights here. That probably would serve better for the type of content that we're getting into with how long it takes to level up life skills. If I, over the course of like a week or two, just record a bunch of different stuff and kind of make it into a movie and then give it to you all, it'd probably be more enjoyable for you. It'd be a heck of a lot more work on my part, and it's gonna be it'd be super slow because I can't guarantee. I don't have the time to guarantee twice a week doing it that way, or once a week, or every day, or anything. I can't guarantee anything doing that. Like now, I can hit record and push something out same day, but it's not always quality. I gotta have water. Sorry. So that's kind of been riding on the back of my mind. The other thing is that I don't want to use buzzwords, but how else do you say it? Gaming channels are dead. You're not going to get big on this platform from gaming, and it's not like I'm chasing. Being a content creator is not really what I'm chasing. I like the interaction, and I like sharing what I'm doing and stuff, but I'm not chasing to be celebrity or known or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a roundabout way of saying that doing videos is not aligning with where I see myself. So you ever see yourself like you have a plan and it's like, that's my goal, that's where I want to be, is like over there somewhere, and then your life is just like, oh no, you're in the little rail cart and we're going this way, and then you just wave at your dream as it goes off the other way. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel. It's been several years now that things have just gotten derailed and they went nuts, and I kind of just went with it, but it's time to start fighting again. I'm tired of being complacent. I went over anybody that's in my long time follower list. It's been subbed to the channel for a long time. 2021, kind of right after I started this channel, not too long, I think. Man, I've been doing this a long time. How long has it been? Yeah, 2020. I don't remember when the first video was. Yeah, right before. The first video was February 2021. 4 years ago yesterday. We're 4 years old. After that, in May of 2021, our house burned and our life got derailed, and it's just been one thing after another since then. I quit working out. That's been getting worse just ever since then. It's been a long time since I've done that, and that's gonna change. I've given up a lot of my tech stuff that I used to do. I used to host my own GitHub repository, code things, shift it back and forth from one PC to another. I was building things, I was doing things, I was working in the tech industry, I was programming, I was doing tech support, I was working on hardware, and I did all kinds of stuff with that. And then I quit all of that, and now we're doing all the farm stuff. which has been problem after problem with that. Um, Terrible years as far as droughts go. The plants were not doing well. Our animals have been sick. Weather has been terrible. It's freaking snowing again today, starting, and probably gonna have inches of snow on the ground here in like 24 hours. So that's bad. Oh yeah, and the chickens left me a nice surprise this morning. I was trying to feed and water them, and then one of them just this giant dookie, like right on the top of my head. Luckily, I had my coat hood up at the time, yeah, so I had to wash my coat today. It's been a day, you know. I hope you guys laugh at my pain because it's been a day. At least somebody will get some enjoyment out of it. Um, but all that's just a long roundabout ramble about things aren't going the way I want them to, so we're gonna fight back. Um, I can't promise daily uploads, and I haven't done that for a long time. I can't even promise weekly uploads at this point, but I can promise I'm not going anywhere. There, I said it. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm gonna be more flexible. I'm not gonna adhere to the 2 videos a week thing because I'm changing things out that you guys aren't gonna really see, until maybe if I put them on camera. My whole vision for this channel was never to just sit and be a gamer. I've always played games, but that's not who I am, you know. And I do a lot of things that I would like to share. The YouTube algorithm is going to destroy the channel when I start uploading other things. I don't know how that's going to happen or what's going to happen with that. And that's why I've held off. Like, I tried it in the past, here and there, and it just didn't work well because of the algorithm. Even with Throne of Liberty, it's not getting pushed out because it's not BDO, and my whole channel was centered around BDO. Well, it's not it. But I would like to have several different projects. One would be regaining my fitness. You know, I'm not inherently like morbidly obese or terrible in shape, but I have lost strength and that I'm unhappy with. I mean, I used to be strong. I used to weight lift a lot. Haven't done that for, well, since our house burned, so going on 4 years now I haven't lifted weights. That's gonna change. I'm cleaning my gym up. It kind of turned into a storage room. Well, I've been clearing it out and clearing my machines off so I can actually use them again. I'm working on that. I'm considering still, maybe filming that. You know, not necessarily like filming every workout I do, but kind of my method on how I do it. Maybe the diet kind of thing that I do. By no means no health advice or anything like that, but like, this is how I am. This is what my body does best with, and this is how I accomplish things. Who knows if it'll still be good or not for me. I'm older than I was the last time I did it. We'll see if I can still shred weight like I used to be able to. I'm talking 12 pounds in a week shred. You know, like the first time I did it, I cut massive amounts of weight very quickly, and I get that from my dad. He could always do that. It was just kind of a thing that we naturally could do. But I'm older, and we'll see. In terms of, and if I do a film, and I'll go over it more, but in terms of like body stats, I'm not on camera much, but I'm still fairly big. I have a hard time fitting into anything below a 2X shirt, and I'm not massive as far as stomach stuff goes, you know. I'm not massively fat. I have extra weight, but I just have big shoulders. I always make this joke. My wife has noticed it too. She gives me a hard time about it. The way my body makeup is, I get it from my dad. So we have very long torsos but shorter legs. So I'm 6 foot, but I look disproportionate because my legs are shorter than my torso. And I always think, if my legs grew into my torso, I'd be like 6'7" or something, you know, like if it was proportional. But I'm like around 6 foot, maybe a little over, maybe a little under. I haven't measured in a long time. And the reason I say I'm not sure is because, you know, last time I measured was years ago, and my dad grew like an inch and a half later in life. I'm talking like 30s, you know, late 20s, 30s. So I may be taller than I thought I was once. But stats, I hover around 240 in terms of pounds. I would like to be around 220 with lower body fat than I have. So that's the goal with that. Maybe I'll make a series out of it. And show my method for getting in shape after not being in shape. Granted, it'll be easier for me because once you have built muscle, it comes back very quickly. The other thing that I have planned behind me, I have a new headset, I have a new mouse, I have DSLR camera, so I have all the equipment to like go and make things. I just don't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I am currently working on a laptop. My camera is being kind of fuzzy now, autofocus stuff. I'm currently working on an older laptop. It's like 9 years old, I think. I don't know. It's an Asus ROG. It's a G751JY model. You can look it up if you're interested. But I've got everything working except for the keyboard. I'm going to try and do a keyboard replacement on it so that I have a powerful laptop that I can edit on the go. And I'm going to teach myself to really edit. I may have to disappear for a while to do that, but this is why I am giving notice now. Because I would like to incorporate more real stuff, you know. I have so many PC parts. I'm sitting here with... I have my old PC that's over there that I did the Pacifist series on. I have my actual current PC over here that I'm on right now playing and recording with. So that's my two PCs, but then my off, like, extra parts. I have 3 towers sitting under the desk. And I have 2 more towers sitting over here under the desk. So I have 5 unused PC towers. It's just random parts that I need to do something with. So I figured I might rebuild them, do some videos on them, possibly. If I get good support for that kind of stuff. Maybe I can make a video run on a potato. The door behind me is not actually the entrance to this room. Entrance to the room is across. This is actually supposed to be a bedroom. I ripped the carpet out and laid new flooring, so it's like linoleum. And the desk that I have, I anchored it to the wall, but it is out of an actual college dorm. They were like remodeling, so we picked it up for nothing. So I have like a ton of counter space, so it's like my computer lab, workshop, office, makeshift area. But the door behind me is actually the half closet that is supposed to be for the bedroom. That thing is so shoved full of PC parts that they're falling out. Like, I'm afraid to open the door at this point. And it's all got to go. So I figured why not turn it into a couple of fun videos. Maybe build some stuff. Maybe edit some things. And maybe see what we can get done. You know, I used to do all this stuff. I find it interesting. I find it fun. So why not just continue doing it, you know, and bring you all with me. It beats the heck out of just disappearing, you know. Being that gaming videos and sitting here playing games and recording it, that's fine, but it's not aligning with what I want out of life. So I either shift and I bring you all with me and record the things that I do want to do, or I just leave and just go do the things that I want to do and don't bring you all with me and let this fade away into nothing. So I have a choice to make, and basically, yes, I like games, but it's not fulfilling enough. You know, it's like when you leave this place, where do you want to be known or remembered as? It's certainly not a gamer on YouTube, let me tell you. I don't care how much money you can make. I don't care. That doesn't matter. Um, my interests lie with, time with my wife, my family, the farm, like our farm, doing that kind of stuff. If it didn't, I wouldn't get up every day and take care of our animals, and I would just sell them, or give them away, and just not, and just sit here and do the videos here. But that's not where my interests lie. I like being outside. I like the nature. I struggle with being outside because my body's trying to make me, you know, to fight me every step away with the autoimmune issues. But yeah, we survive. But anyway, the whole PC closet behind me, like I said, there's towers in there, there's motherboards in there, all kinds of parts, that extra memory, just any graphics cards that just stacked up. There's monitors, and it's just a mess. It's like the old lady's handbag, of PC parts closets. But I've dabbled in fixing laptops recently, or well, upgrading. So I took the Sony Vaio that's on the shelf back there. Y'all probably can't see it. It's my actual current laptop, but it sucks really bad because the hard drive's terrible. But I completely dismantled that thing. I swapped CPUs in it. I upgraded RAM in it. Took it out, and put the CD drive. And it was my dad's, so I fixed it, and I was using it. But I got a chance to get this Asus G751, and it had a bad keyboard, as in the keyboard delays, so it needs a new one. Well, parts from China are very nice, they're cheap, so I ordered one, and I'm going to try and fix that. The only other problem I had with it was that the Wi-Fi wasn't working. Well, I got that to work. I don't know what the problem with it was, but I took it all apart and I dismantled it and got it working. And I have another parts donor over here that's basically the same model, so I built one out of two, and it's in pretty good shape for a 10-year-old laptop. But I figure if I get that working, that I can have a mobile editing machine, because it's got like 32 gigs of RAM and a quad-core 8-thread processor. It should be good enough for editing. If not, a little bit of recording here and there, maybe. But I'm getting all the tools together to be mobile, as well as continue this, so it should be good. Another thing that I feel really bad about, I put a lot of money into the car that I've hinted at. And I briefly showed it in a farm vlog, I think, that I did like years ago. Well, I have driven it probably 3 times since that video. It just sits. And now the paint's peeling off of it, and it's kind of run down because it hasn't been used. I would like to incorporate that into videos and actually use my car instead of letting it set and just rot away. At this point, it's practically a classic. It's crazy because, I have all these thoughts and ideas, and task paralysis just kind of gets in the way of that. It's an illness, but for me, spending all the time with Dad and reflecting on just all my memories and stuff, I think of a classic car and it's like, yeah, that's a 60s. I grew up with a lineup, like basically a junkyard, our own junkyard full of classic 60s models Mustangs. Dad was he had a bunch of them. I remember my first car was supposed to be a 67 Mustang. Found out the frame rails were rusted through, so we sold the whole thing for like $100 for the clutch pedals. Some guy wanted it, and it's like, well, you'd have to cut the whole car apart, and that's a lot of work. But I remember the same guy bought my dad's matching number 64.5 car that he had up on a trailer. Sad to see that one go, but I had a thought. It was classic cars were always 60 models for me, but now I think of kids in this era, you know, their idea of classic cars is like 30 years ago, and that's my car. I have a 90, early 90s, like a 94 Trans Am. That's a classic to them now, you know, like 30. Isn't it like 25 or 30 years you can get like a historic plate for it with no regulations, and but you can only drive it like a couple thousand miles a year. It's crazy to me that the car is that old. Um, it's almost as old as I am, but we're hanging in there. And to just leave it like so many of my other things, even myself, just waste away while I'm sitting here playing games is just it's weighing on my conscience, you know. And I never feel bad when I'm playing games. It's always fun. Like I had a lot of fun playing Throne of Liberty, you know, for a couple days there, just a couple days ago. But it's always that buyer's remorse that sets in afterwards. Like, man, I want that time back. Even though I had a great time, it wasn't bad. It's just, what do you really get out of it? You can spend 41,000 hours playing Black Desert, or you can spend 41,000 hours building a homestead. When you look at it that way, or a business, or anything, really. Isn't it like 10,000 hours to be considered an expert? Well, I'm 4 times an expert in Black Desert, apparently. But it's a thing, and I always kind of get like this during, you know, it's like, oh, doom and gloom. I'm not depressed. I'm just Dad's birthday. It always makes me think about things, you know. It's like remembering stuff, and then I remember, you know, just like lifting the little dog up here. You know, well, she's not little, but she's still a baby, even though she's a big 50-pound baby. You know, we were thinking about. I mean, she's a replacement for the one we lost, and it's just like we took her for granted. You know, she was always so happy, and she took care of everybody else. We didn't even realize she was sick because we were too busy doing other things or playing games or just not paying attention. You know, and she never complained once. She hid it, and that's really been weighing on my mind a lot recently. That kind of stuff bothers me. But the only, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe that's it. But if my face doesn't quit itching, I'm going to. Why is all this skin on my face? I promise. I promise I don't do that. Uh, but you know, it's maybe I'm just getting old. It's the feeling of running out of time, and then the regret of wasted time. You know, even though in the moment it doesn't feel like it's wasted. But heck, if I was smart, I would probably shut off BDO and never look back, you know, and just go. But I'm gonna see what happens with the channel, and I'm gonna watch the comments on this video, and most people probably already clicked off by this point and just don't care. And I don't blame them. But if you stuck around and heard listened to what I had to say, I don't mean to weigh heavy, and I don't mean to be depressed or even convey if I'm upset, because I'm not upset. I'm just talking, because it's stuff I think about, and open up about. You know, it's like. At this point, you guys know me well enough. I don't know any of you, really, but you know me well enough if you've stuck around that I guess we're friends, you know? Considered that way. I'm just the guy on the second monitor, you know? But I was outside, and maybe this is part of what feeds into it, but I was outside a couple nights ago. And taking the hounds outside, you know, the pups, and so I usually go out with them because we have a lot of coyotes around here. Don't want them getting attacked or anything. And I happened to just look up, you know, and the moon was out, and it was clear night, and look up, and when you look up, you can just see the halo around the moon. I don't know if I have a picture of it or not. Maybe I can show it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it for y'all. I sent it to my wife. Maybe she saved it in... Yeah, here it is. I don't know if y'all can see that. Without me. You see that halo? Look at that stuff. That was straight up in the sky above me. And it's just like... I'm missing out on, like, cool, pretty things like this to sit here and look at a screen. And it kind of sparked me thinking about stuff. And then, you know, with my dad's birthday and him being gone, and it's like my grandma's getting up there, and we're losing people left and right, and the family's just dwindling away. It just makes you think. So while I'm not inherently depressed or upset, it's just, or even like mad or unhappy, it's just I want change. And I either put it out there and see what I can do to facilitate that change and bring you all with me, or I just leave and fade away, like I said, you know, and just don't anymore. I know usually the answer is do what's best for you, blah blah blah, but this is a community that we kind of built together. Albeit we're not as big as other communities, but we're still here together, and it's just as much your opinion as it is mine as far as where the channel goes, you know. It's not just, while it's a dictator democracy, I still have the final say, you know. I still like input, and so I will put this out here, and if it gets good feedback, great. If it doesn't, then great. I'll make a decision, the best informed decision that I can, and I'll make sure it's best for me, but I also want as good as I can make it for everybody else. I don't like to just disappear. Let's put it that way. So, all the heavy stuff out of the way. We sure did make a lot of silver while I was taking a hiatus. So 89 billion. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to move forward with. I don't know what to do as far as in-game goes. There's really not any costumes being sold. BDO is hit a dry spell in terms of like costumes. I barely got enough cron stones to do all the horse attempts that I did. I was just sitting there horse training, riding around, grabbing crap off the market when I could. I was just refreshing. So basically I was sitting here clicking 4 buttons back and forth. Have this on filter by quantity, and I was just sitting here doing this back and forth while horse training until I saw one pop up on the side, and then I would try and buy it as fast as I could before anybody else got it. And I managed to get enough cron stones to do my horse attempts. But as far as getting cron stones to do weapon attempts or even Karazat attempts, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't know what to do. Probably make Throne and Liberty content. That's probably what I'm going to do while also processing. Because I'm having more fun over there. Even though it's a shallow game, and it's basically very shallow PvE led into mediocre PvP. Because the castle siege that I did, I tried to record it, and I thought about it, and then I decided, nah, I'm not recording this, and I cut it off. Because I was just running around the whole time, tanking stuff, you know. It was not riveting gameplay. I was just running back and forth, trying to put out little fires and keep my wife alive so she could heal the rest of our party. So, you know, it's... Maybe I'll record the next one, but they're a little bit laggy. There's a lot of people, and I don't know if it would be exciting to watch or not. I will say that the other day after we did all this guild stuff, and then my wife was in the arena, like our guild arena over there, and fighting one of our guild members. He's kind of geared, you know, he does a lot of damage. And I decided I was going to mess with him while I was in a party with her, so I play big tank. Well, I put blood soak skill on her so that 70% of the damage that she takes, it actually gives to me. And then I have another skill that every time I reflect it, I can reflect damage. So every time my shield blocks it or they miss or something, they get hurt. So I put that on. So I blood soaked her and I put that on and I buffed resistances and I just stood next to her and he was attacking her and he almost killed himself. And I laughed so freaking hard because it was based on hits and he was playing a class that did a ton of multi-hit. And so I just watched his HP go from full to like 20% almost instantly over the course of about 3 seconds. I couldn't quit laughing. That was fun. That was a fun time. And I took no damage. I'm a very tanky boy. So that was fun. I did scream a little bit during the siege though, which I wish I would have recorded that part. Our shot caller guild leader said, push in, push in, push in. So I was one of the groups I was in the group that was in the front. And so we were going across a drawbridge and we pushed in and I did my collide skill and it shot me in the portcullis, like the castle gate, and I was the only one in there because the rest of the party was right behind me. Those guys shut the gate on me and I was stuck in there with their whole damn guild. It was about 50 or I think guilds are up to 70, so it was like 40 or 50 of them in there versus just me. And I was like, they left me in here, and the rest of my party's like, see ya. Because they couldn't get in, the enemy guild shut the gate, and so it was just me. And yeah, I got violated. That was the only time I died in that whole fight. Me versus one, the whole guild. We won, but yeah, that was scary. It was funny, but it was scary. So maybe I'll record the next stuff. I don't know. Let me know how you feel. I've rambled on enough. I've conveyed all my thoughts, concerns, and ideas. I'm going to keep processing to get my trade crates back up and running. And I'm going to continue doing AFK stuff in BDO. As long as you guys want to see content, I'll make it. But I would like to switch to real life stuff. And I would like to be more comfortable being fully on camera. I mean, being a floating head's not really that exposing, but taking you along and showing you aspects of my life is a little different. So it's going to be slow, and I'm kind of an introvert anyway. I stay away from people as much as I can. So it's going to be out of my comfort zone if I go that route. If there's enough support for it in the comments over the next couple of videos, I will start pushing that way, because I think it's the only way to keep the channel alive. You know, the last closing thought, us BDO content creators, we're dwindling out. You got 3 routes to go. Well, I guess 4. You can turtle and stay where you're at. You can go the Blue Squadron route and become a reaction and branch out. Or you can just do full Iron Man stuff, like Sickloot and Azure, and do challenges like that. I don't have any interest in doing that anymore. I don't want to play through the game again. I cannot make reaction videos work. I'm not that funny. I don't have a funny face. I'm sorry. I also don't have a funny voice either, so there's that. Or there's 4, the 4th one. And that's probably the route that I'm going to take, and that's pivot. And I have a lot going for me. You know, I know a lot about PCs and stuff. I know a lot about farm stuff. I know a lot about fitness stuff, because all these things were things that I'm thinking about actually making a career, and then I ended up doing none of that and just kind of gained knowledge over everything. So I'm kind of a jack of all trades handyman type now. And that reminds me, there's also a bunch of fixing and repair videos I got to do. Our deck, I'm surprised it's still there. for our house. I have to deal with that in a couple of months when it becomes warm. So I can record and edit that down and probably show how I go about fixing that. You know, I've got all kinds of stuff that I can bring you all along with me to do. I mean, how much content and adventures can you get into on a 300-acre farm? Quite a few, especially when there's so much work to do and everything's run down from neglect before I moved here. And especially when things keep going wrong. You know, I do most of my own work, you know, even on the cars and stuff, unless it's just I don't have tools for. And so, you know, I'm always getting into something outside of just this little picture box that you see here, with my face in it, and this game that we all connected through. But leave your, if you made it this far, let me know. I know it's an hour long. I figure I'm a second monitor type of content right now anyway, so you guys can listen to me ramble and or fall asleep to my voice. I've been told that too. I know my wife does all the time. Yeah, she does. I guess it's calming, or maybe I'm just boring. I don't know. But no, the cope is real. It's the coping. She feels safe. That's what it is. She feels safe, so she falls asleep. Right. But that's my thoughts, and that's the way I see things. And to move forward, I think we got to pivot, because you either grow or you're dying out. There is no in between on YouTube. There isn't. You're either pushing to grow all the time. If you're maintaining, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're not getting anywhere. And I never meant for this to really be my sole career. But who knows? Maybe it will be. I don't know. And I don't really care about the whole monetized aspect thing. Like, it's nice to get a little bit of thing out of for my time, but it was always just about sharing stuff and sharing stories from my dad and just different things I thought were cool. And I've kind of just pigeonholed that straight down into just sharing BDO stuff, and that's never what it meant to be. And in turn, that's kind of suppressed a lot of other aspects that I want to pursue. So, like I said, I either drop it or I take you with me. So I'm leaning towards take you with me. It's not that big a deal. I have a tripod and the camera. I can set all that stuff up. I just have to get used to editing instead of just hitting record like I'm streaming, and I have to get used to being on camera more. But we'll I'll deal with that as I get to it. Let me know how you feel, and as always, I appreciate all of you that watch this stuff, sharing what little time we all have. You know, it's limited and it doesn't go unnoticed. So have a good one, and whatever you pursue, I hope you succeed. As always, until next time.